Picture this. Picture 11th century Europe, that is in a political Game of Thrones. And picture the very setting of this modification, that is Anno Domini 1051 AD. The purpose of this mod is very simple. If you always wanted to figure out what the Dark Ages really were like, what the late Dark Ages were going to be, then this mod is great. And this mod is Anno Domini 1051 AD. It's part of a series of modifications obviously called the Anno Domini series that totally overhauls the Attila Total War campaigns in order to tell the story of Europe during the Dark Ages. And there are many planned projects as well. 1096, which is the First Crusade, 768, which is Charlemagne, 885, the Viking Age, and Anno Domini 481 during the era of Clovis. A great overhaul has included custom models such as for units, new campaign settlements with real 11th century fortifications, as will be shown in this video. There's overhauled battle and campaign balance and new gameplay mechanics. I think they've done a really fantastic job here, and Anno Domini 1051 is a mod that you need to go and download right now. This mod aims to create a more historically accurate and immersive experience set in this century. Now this, as I have said in the introduction, it is the rise of new powers that will one day become the foundation of what will become medieval Europe. This is a period of shifting alliances across Europe, and I believe this mod captures it very perfectly. There is a plethora of new factions, units, and gameplay mechanics, all researched to provide a deep and engaging campaign. What I will say is that the campaign experience is mostly vanilla, so mostly sandbox during this time. However, more scripted events may be added in the future, including Byzantine invasions, including Norman invasions, and I hope there are some scripted missions for the Normans when it comes to the invasion of England in 1066. But we are talking about a completely overhauled map with new factions, new units. Although the unit roster is quite limited, it works strategically in its favor. They have gone for quality over quantity, and it's a complete overhaul. One of the more impressive aspects of this mod is the great variety of factions available. Now you can play as, let's say, England, where England is facing a crisis between Edward the Confessor and Harold Godwinson. And the other variety of faction that you can play are the Normans. In fact, the Normans are the most fun faction to play within this entire game. You've got the Normans that are going into Italy, serving as mercenaries with the Italian city-states, then use them to fight in their battles, and therefore the Normans carve out a conquest in Italy itself. The Italian peninsula is their playground, more or less, and the Normans are the ones defending Italy from the Arabs. The Arabs who rule the Emirate of Sicily. They are a powerful force that you will definitely want to play within your campaign. You also have the Holy Roman Empire, greedy in many ways to take its lands from Hungary. And there is an interesting dynamic over there as well. You've got the William of Normandy making alliances and then going to conquer England. You can do that, or you can completely change history and make William of Normandy the King of France, which obviously I believe you can do that. You can also play as the various Norse kingdoms, and you can also play a famous Varangian god who becomes the King of Denmark and attempts in history to go and attack England. And I shall mention a battle called Stamford Bridge, and that is about it. And of course, you could play any of the Italian city-states. You can play many factions within this. Every faction, of course, has its own unique roster of units, and that reflects their, historical military composition. Now, take for example the Normans. Heavily armored knights, skilled archers, formidable infantry, formidable spearmen, and they can be a force to reckon with in battle as well. And the other thing is that the other rosters of other factions are quite good. None of the other factions feel too OP at times, but it all depends on how you will fight your battles, because the battles are important. They are slow paced, it depends on morale, it depends on what traits your general has, and it depends on how your units fight. Your general could just flee away, apparently, when the archers just fire. All he could is the most important thing that you should figure out. Also, this mod features, as I have said, a vast array of factions, which includes a vast array of units. But those units are in limited numbers. Those units are in small rosters, because I think that a smaller roster sometimes helps. A smaller roster, even though you have such a large map, is key to making sure how you figure out how to attack, how to play. But you do have heavily armored knights, 2 lightly armed skirmishers and archers, and therefore that reflects the diverse warfare of this era. I would say that the campaign map has obviously been reworked. It's obviously having new agents, new mechanics, new unit styles. There's a huge medieval Holy Roman Empire that is split into various duchies. There's historically accurate settlements. The map is far more detailed and accurate, with accurate lords and lineages. Diplomacy will of course play a crucial role. That is in every Total War mod. And factions will form alliances, you will engage in trade, and you will vie for power. The main aspect is that you have to plan. Planning is crucial in this mod. You can't just win a battle just like that. You can't just go and attack city after city and just expect nothing to happen. The AI will give you a challenge. You will have to fight for your life when you play the campaign. When I played as the Emirate of Al-Andalus, even though it is differently named, I will still call it that for some other reason, I had to struggle to go and take Cordoba. I also had to struggle to fight against civil war. I had to struggle against so many things. So this mod is really fun in that aspect. So if you're going to talk about moving on, let's say we go to sieges. How are sieges? What about sieges in custom cities? I say that most of the city maps have been updated with new built-in assets. I think that's great. You will see that within most of the cities that you attack, some of them will be repetitive, but at least it adds a bit more uniqueness, a bit more freshness. So you aren't just attacking a normal Attila vanilla city. You are attacking a city that feels actually medieval, that feels that is part of the time period that you're in. I think that really works. I do want to see in the future more assets for the Arabic cities. I do want to see much more unique variations within more architectural cities. So for example, I'd much prefer having more different assets, more different buildings throughout your cities. I think that would be absolutely great, and I would love to see what they will do in the future with regards to custom cities, because what they've done is amazing, and I think that's really great. The visuals, the atmosphere is great, environments are brilliant. If you fight anywhere, there'll be a cathedral, you'll be attacking in places. It really feels great. And to me, this is what the early start of Medieval 2 would have been, I believe, but I'm still not sure. However, it does bring me memories back of Medieval 2. It does a fantastic job in immersing you into the Dark Ages. I think it just really does a fantastic job on that. It's more focused on historical accuracy, and the campaign is just deeper, it's more engaging. You've got new factions, units, and gameplay mechanics that really do make it a must-play mod for any fan of the Total War series. It is an amazing mod, and all the amazing mods that this modding team is going to put out is going to be just completely new experiences for all of you guys. So overall, I think that this mod, the 1051 Anno Domini mod, is a fantastic addition in the history of mods for Total War Attila. It offers a fresh, immersive experience set in a fascinating yet unknown period of medieval history. So if you're looking for a challenging and rewarding campaign, I highly recommend checking it out. Go to the Steam Workshop, download the beta, and give your feedback to the developers who are obviously working very hard to iron out the bugs. I'll put a link in the description below where you can download the mod. Let me know what you think of the mod, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Total War content. Thank you for watching.